everybody. Welcome back. Today, I want to talk about the wounded inner child, the wounded inner child. This concept is something that has really helped me understand me. It has really helped me grow. And, I would say turn that corner. Sometimes you feel stuck. You feel like you made it to the end of the journey in certain areas of your life, you know, but, life will always remind you that it's not over. Life will always remind you that there's more work to do. There's deeper levels to go, and there's more places to grow. And the wounded inner child concept, when I learned about this and I began to study it and listen to audio around it and really write about my wounded inner child, it really helped me. So I want to talk about 3 ways in which I decided to reparent myself. And so we all are children, we go through, as we know, the stages of development, childhood, adolescence, adulthood, which is where we are in our 20s. This channel, this program, this conversation is dedicated to young ladies in their 20s. However, whether you're in your 20s or like me and several decades ahead, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, we all have inner child that we should be reparenting, I believe. And the more I interact with people, I see people, I talk to people, no matter what age they are, they're going to bring up usually their childhood in some way, not in a very depressive or, a sad way, but it's our journey. And when I learned about my inner child, understanding the wounds that came with that, that's how I began to grow. Because if we're focusing on our childhood in a way, just I had a great childhood, I was raised this way, I had this, I had that, that's all beautiful. That's a foundation. But the reality is there are cracks in that foundation. There are spaces in which our parents just didn't have everything they needed to give us. They gave us all they had. They did the best they could. Some, maybe not. But they are supposed to protect us physically and psychologically. And sometimes that gift that they're supposed to give us, we have to gift ourselves as an adult. So I want to talk about 3 ways to reparent yourself. And reparenting is not a neglect or saying that it's a negative parenting style that your parents had. Again, this is saying to you, to me, that it is time to parent ourselves. And these are very simple, I feel like, concepts. They're not simple in the context of what I'm going to share, but not in doing. And I hope, again, it helps you. A lot of people use the term shin or ego or spirit, but the inner child, which is somebody that lives within us, we bring them along the journey into our adult roles and we reparent them. And number 1, for me, I would say, give them what you never had. And this inner child concept has nothing to do with physical children. Although I am a mother, this is talking about me reparenting, because I do believe even just being a new parent, parenting my children, in order to do that in a healthy way or a healthier way, I need to, be an adult. And the adult part is the parent, the person that is responsible, the person that says, do this, don't do that, the person that brings the discipline and the guidance, that child, that fun, that curious person, that let's go, that free spirit, that's beautiful to keep and keep sacred. But you have to bring in that adult, because no matter how we were raised, there is going to be a space in our life where we have to learn to say, let's go, let's do this, and let's grow. So give yourself the things you never had. And oftentimes people think of this as monetary things. I want to speak to the inner experiences, because I believe there are inner experiences that we have to gift ourselves that we didn't receive as children. If we're going to monetary things, I think that's very natural. People want to give their children. And again, we're talking about inner child. I've had a young lady, she really pretty much, she was the oldest of her siblings. Her mom passed at a young age, and she's the parent. She was the mom figure. She was the role model. And in this space in her life, she's traveling, she's enjoying life, she's doing a lot of things. And she told me point blank, she said, I grew up with no childhood. And I totally understand that, nurture that space, whatever you need. So we're speaking to the adult space of, okay, where's the responsibility? What do I need to be a productive adult? Not talking about your own children. We're talking about the inner child within. So what are you going to give yourself that you never had? For me, I think about things like peace. I didn't have peace in my childhood. So oftentimes if we don't disrupt our life and look at what are we doing in this moment as an adult, then we're just bringing on patterns. So peace is a space that I really am serious about. And peace is not the absence of silence. I'm not a mute person. I'm not a person that just want to sit and not say anything, or that's not what peace is. But peace is understanding that in this moment or in my life, I want to be at peace with who I am, the things that I do. I want my mind and body to be in alignment. So that is peace for me. Again, I'm speaking from an example of what I would say, give myself the things I never had. That would be an example for me. So please, when I say give yourself the things that never had, try it. Think about in your life as a child, what didn't you receive that you know you now need? Another space for me, I didn't feel seen. I didn't feel heard. I've shared a lot about my background, but things were already kind of like placed on the plate. This is what you do, not physically, but literally, not literally, but in the concept of your lifestyle, this is what you should be doing. So for me, giving myself the things I never had, choice and freedom, and freedom, not in a wild way, although I'm gonna talk to that space in a minute, but freedom as in you do have choice, and choose healthy because you love yourself. So giving yourself the things, some people grew up very permissive lifestyle. Their parents were, do whatever you want to do. That does not serve you as an adult. You want to have time management skills. You want to be responsible. You want to take care of yourself. You want to have good hygiene. You want to be able to hold down a job or a career or build a business, whatever it is you desire. It takes structure, it takes rules, it takes regulations, it takes these things, but you can create them from an adult space. So that's reparenting. And the first one is give yourself the things you never had. Inner experience. I'm sure you're going to take care of those external experiences. Oftentimes you hear a lot of people grew up in poverty, so they spend. Conscious consumerism is some people grew up very wealthy and they have no real concept of money and the value of it. There's just, the key to me is the balance, bringing that child, bringing that adult together. Inner child, reparent. The second thing I would say is get in the driver's seat. Get in the driver's seat. For me, I would say in this area, for me, I'll say this. I invested in myself for the first time. I would say in a real life, I would say therapy session, I guess. And I only needed 2 sessions with him. It was like 120 minutes per session. And that thing it was life-changing. It was transformative. This is actually the concept. I already had studied and learned a little bit about it, but he introduced this to me and we really broke it down and he helped me understand it. But he was like, my mentor, he said, you are a Ferrari, but you're a child driving a Ferrari. And I was like, wow. And we just broke down. He just said, your energy, your spirit, your the way you want to do things and how you live and how you love and how you support. And it's a wild spirit, which I think I like that about me, because again, I grew up very restricted and do this and that. However, and the Ferrari being bold and powerful, but a child cannot drive that because you will be all over the place. And I know I find myself like that oftentimes, all over this place. In some areas are, I used to call my classroom organized chaos. Oh, we're going to get things done. Don't look at my desk. Don't judge my desk. But the organized chaos, meaning we're going to get the thing done that I need to get done, that we need to get done, but it might look a little messy. But the goal as the parent, I want to bring in it all together, It can still be organized chaos, but we have to learn to not be all over the place for me. And that's a big space for me. So get in the driver's seat. Also understanding whose thoughts are you listening to? Because oftentimes if you're in that car and you're all over the place, it's because you're listening to somebody else. For me, might be listening to my parents' voice. You're listening to a friend's voice. You may be listening to an old boss, an ex-partner who maybe said something, a current partner. But I truly believe in the power of your own voice. You are wise. You are courageous. You are very intelligent. And getting in that driver's seat as an adult, taking control of your thoughts, your beliefs, your values, finding inspiration and admiration through people that you choose, not that's given to you, not that says, hey, listen to me, but the people that you choose, you pick out, you handpick people for your life, honey. This thing is serious. And you will find the people you need for every stage. So getting in that driver's seat, taking control of your thoughts, your beliefs, your values, and what do you desire? Bring that inner child in that seat with you. Let them be fun. Let them be courageous. Let them, let's go try this. Let's go do that. But that adult's going to always say, okay, let's focus. Let's choose. Let's think. Okay. And the last thing is I teach myself. I think this was very important to me. I love this concept. I teach myself. As parents, that's their goal. I believe parents are the first educators in the home is the first place of education. School system's great, fine, if that's what we choose to put our children, whether it's, homeschooling, public school, but our parents, we are the first line of education. And I teach myself is very valuable in our 20s. For me, that concept, again, I teach these things because I didn't do a lot of them. A lot of them I did do, I do believe I stayed close to my soul throughout my life. I would say that there are some spaces I disconnected. Obviously, that's life, but the concept staying true, that's so important. I say that because in your 20s, I would say teach yourself. What can you teach yourself? For me, I wish I would have thought about the emotional intelligence piece early. I teach myself how to control my emotions. I teach myself to be okay with how I feel. I teach myself it's okay to be emotional. What do my emotions feel like? And this I teach myself concept, I love it because, again, I am a mother and I'm a new mother. And I want to pass these type of things on to my children. Like when I say, what do I want to give my children? It's emotional intelligence. It is intuitive, ness. It is the power of being yourself. So reparenting that inner child, I teach myself, what can you teach yourself? Your parents may have been great at helping you build and establish emotional intelligence, speaking how you feel, being vulnerable in how you feel, not worrying about people pleasing. Those may be all great spaces. Maybe you had to deal with perfectionism. Maybe it's sibling rivalry. Maybe it's I need to teach myself not compare myself to other people. Maybe I need to teach myself to be more kind, more forgiving, to say please and thank you, to be grateful. I mean, there's so many things we could teach ourselves, but we have to look in the mirror and be honest about what do we need to learn. So in this moment, Janville, slow down. I teach myself how to take deep breaths. I teach myself to slow down. So I just want to let you know you are more powerful than you know. Be proud of who you are, how far you've come. Give yourself a hug. I'll do that now. This is a great way to reparent yourself. Give yourself a hug. I always love to do this. There's ways just to give yourself the things that you didn't receive as a child, or again, and it's not a knock to anyone, but it is a salute to you for staying true and doing the things that serve you in this season of your life. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.